live a life of freedom and adventure? Are you wanting more than the daily grind? Me too. Welcome to the Emma Lovell Show, a place where we talk about living a life you love now. I'm your host, Emma Lovell, and my number one value is freedom. I've spent the last 14 years running a business and traveling the world, and now I take my husband and toddler along for the adventure too. It's possible, and I know you can create a life doing what you truly love as well. This podcast will inspire, motivate, and encourage you to go after your dreams, to create a life you love and to live it now, not wait for retirement or someday in the future. I'll be sharing episodes weekly about how I harmonise business, travel, and self-care. I'll also bring on incredible guests to share their journeys, the wins, the challenges, and how they're creating a life they love. Let's jump in and get dreaming. This is a space for you to manifest a life you love. I would like to acknowledge and recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as the first peoples of this place, now known as Australia. I am grateful for the continuing care of the land, waterways and skies where I work, live, listen, learn and play. From here on Yugambeh country and from wherever you are listening, I pay my respects to the elders past and present. Welcome to the podcast today. I am joined by one of my favouriteest people on the internet, Kate Merryweather.
Thank you for having me. That's a very nice description.
Well, I will give a little bit of what your title is, but I always ask the lovely existential question of who are you? But Kate is a LinkedIn expert, and she is that redhead on LinkedIn. And you will generally be able to see her. Whenever I say that, I'm like, oh, you know, my coach, because she's also my coach, and my friend, Kate Merryweather, she's the redhead on LinkedIn. And people are like, oh, yeah, I know that lady. So, yeah, Kate, take it away. In your words,
that's personal branding. The redheaded LinkedIn coach came up because someone was saying, oh, what's unique about you? And I was like, nothing. And then I thought the only thing I've got is my hair. And that's why I started calling myself that redheaded LinkedIn coach, because I didn't have anything else unique to talk about. And that just stuck. So I started that about 3 years ago, started LinkedIn coaching because I was using LinkedIn to grow my business and everyone kept asking me about LinkedIn and I kept answering anyone who asked and saying, oh, this is what you do and works really well and you get all these leads and it's also great and do this, do that. And then I realised that, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be helping people for free and then I can actually become a LinkedIn coach. So that's what I did.
You are very generous, though, with your knowledge and expertise, which is wonderful. But yes, there does come a point where probs should get paid for it.
Yes. I do like to be generous. So part of my values is to just give a lot of free advice and help people for free. And I like that. I think that works really well on LinkedIn because otherwise, what are you going to give people? You can't give people like your B material and save the best stuff for your paying clients. So quite often you can give advice, but people might follow you for it, but there's a very, very few who actually implement it on their own. So there's no downside to being very generous with your knowledge.
Yes, and I would say full disclosure, 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes of our call before the podcast recording was me asking Kate things, but I am a paid member of your program.
You are.
I'm not supposed to get VIP treatment, but you know, I find ways. But tell us about your membership. So when did you start? I mean, I know because I'm involved, but when did you start the membership? So you went from, well, let's backtrack 1, 2, 3 steps.
Yes.
You're very good at content. So where did you start that led you to then going, okay, well, actually now I want to be the LinkedIn coach?
Yeah, so I was a freelance copywriter for many years and I had young children and I was like just doing freelancing and that's how I saw it. And then I realised I need to make something of this. I need to promote myself and I figured LinkedIn was the logical place to do that. I looked on LinkedIn and I could see there are a lot of copywriters. There were 13,000 copywriters in Australia that I searched for. And I thought, that's a lot of competition. How can I stand out? So I started sharing videos on LinkedIn and I thought, I reckon a lot of copywriters are introverts and I'm not, so I'm willing to do videos. So I just started filming myself talking about blog writing. That was my specialty, SEO, websites, and blogs. So I just made videos talking about that, put them on LinkedIn, and just cracked on about blogging and website writing on LinkedIn. And then I started getting leads. I started getting people come to me, booking me in, people saying, I watched your videos, I like your content. And it just went from there to the point where I was sold out and had a wait list, which was really nice. And then when was that? In 2022, that's when I realized time for a change. I've been copywriting for 10 years and I changed to become a LinkedIn coach. So I fired all my copywriting clients and started LinkedIn coaching, which was pretty scary.
Yes.
Yeah, it was quite scary. Um, but there's only one way to do these things is to just kind of go for it and see if it works. And it has worked. So,
Well,
yeah,
and you could
I'm
always go
glad.
back to it. You
And
can always pick that back up if it
yeah,
wasn't working.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. I think, and that's about that time I launched the membership. And I struggled with how to help people. When you're a writer, you give people words for money. But as a coach, and there's different ways to teach people. And that's what I've struggled with. Like, do I do a one-on-one for 3 months or one-on-one for a day or an hour? Or do I do a group program or do I do workshops? And I've done a bit of everything. And I found that difficult to get the mix right, the balance right. So I started a membership. Um, Initially, I started it on Kajabi and I had a Facebook group and it was okay. Um, and then late last year, a lot of people left and I always struggled to get traction and get the momentum in the group. And then I moved it over to school. And what I like about school, it's a bit of a bro community school, to be honest, but I do like that it's all in one. So all the training, all the discussion, all the events, all in the one place. Whereas my previous group had the training was in Kajabi, but the discussion was in Facebook.
And
And
then
some
they're doing
members
the
just,
activity on LinkedIn. So you're actually going to
yeah,
three
yeah,
places.
exactly.
Mm.
So some members just hate Facebook, and the Facebook algorithm doesn't necessarily serve up your content. So since I've moved to school, I've made it a bit cheaper as well, so it's more affordable. Um, I've really started to get traction in the group. So I'm really glad I made that change, and it's got lots of training in it. I'm not sure how many people watch the training. One thing Kajabi did tell you, it did tell you how far people have got through the training. I don't think school gives you that insight, so I can't see who's watched the videos unless there's something I don't know. Um, but if you're the type of person that wants to watch training videos, they are in there. But some people just come along and just ask questions. Yeah, and
So
it's a
they
nice
pay.
group. It's a supportive group. People support each other. That's what I like about it. I wanted to have a group where it's not just me telling you what to do, though I will, but other people sharing the way they approach things and what they're doing. So it's not just do as I say, but just see what other people are doing and how people are approaching things differently. That's what I like about it.
Well, yeah, because sometimes, I think you get that. Well, it's all well and good for you. Like you're the LinkedIn expert, like, of course it's working for you. You do it all the
Yeah.
time. So, but to see evidence of other people doing it and things that,
Mm,
and to share a win,
yeah.
it's really nice to come and share a win. And I know that the Facebook group had all of that. We must say that, so the group is called, the membership's called Show Up School. So
Yes.
it's not linked in explicitly because you have this wonderful activity that you've been doing lately, which is Shoot Your Shot Wednesday. And I was like,
Mm,
oh no, I didn't shoot my shot on LinkedIn. I didn't do the thing. And I like a rule follower, which I'm not, but I was like, I didn't do the thing. You're like, just shoot your shot anywhere. Like shoot your shot on
yeah.
email or make the phone call or so
Yeah.
can you explain? Because I really liked, and it was funny, I think I often have this thing where I hear things 3 times in a row. And I think I heard about some shoot your shot or something similar. Um, 3 times. So I was like, okay, I'm on board. So what is it?
Yes. So I saw it on Threads was this random woman in America and it went crazy on Threads. And she just said, I have in my business, I have Shoot Your Shot Wednesday and I think of someone that I really want to work with or someone that I want to collab with or a podcast that I want to be on or a journalist that I want to interview me or an event I want to speak at, or anything that you want that you have to ask for, or an old client that you want back. And she says, so every Wednesday I shoot my shot. I write them the best possible email or the best message I can. And then I think to myself, here goes nothing, and I send it. Um, and I thought, oh, that's really great. I really liked that. And this post on Threads went crazy. And she said on it, like, feel free to steal it. So I was like, I'll steal it. I'm going to steal it and I'm going to put it in the membership. And so every Wednesday we can, if we choose to, just shoot a shot. And I think it's been really great for me. Like, I haven't done a lot of outreach in my career. So it's helped me just think, oh, who am I going to pick? Like, today's Tuesday, that, who am I going to pitch? So I've started to put people on the list and think, right, I'm going to pitch them tomorrow. And we've all been shooting our shots and getting some appointments and getting some leads, which is really exciting. So I think it's nice not only to have that habit of pitching regularly, and just having to do it every week just forces you. It's so easy to
The
put
muscle.
things like that off and go, oh, I'll do it another time. But if you have to do it every week, that's 52 outreaches a year. If you keep it up, that can make a huge difference.
Especially for a
And I
big
like that.
thing. If you go for a big
Yeah, we
one,
all
because if you
support
get it
each other. Yeah.
one big fish, like one week, somebody says yes, like, yeah, you sent 50 things, but it could
Yeah.
be a big fish.
Now I started this 3 weeks ago and I've shot my 3 shots and I've been ignored twice. But I've got a meeting on Thursday for someone that I shot my shot. So hopefully that will come to something. And if not, that's okay. But I wouldn't have had that meeting if I hadn't pitched her. Um, yeah, so I think it's just getting in the habit, and it's so sensible. Just got to keep repeating. Well, if you go to the gym to get strong, you've got to keep doing your reps. So it's a bit like that.
It's a
So that's
muscle.
a
And
new feature.
I think when it like I included it on a podcast I had recently. So the podcast episode was called I'm Scared. And I just Googled to see if Kate had been on this podcast, and that episode came up because I mentioned that there were like, so I'm feeling scared, and here's three things I'm doing. And I said the first thing I was doing is resting, because sometimes maybe you're just a bit delicate and it's actually your body going like, oh, just chill out a bit. But not for too long, because then I think you can freeze. So the second thing was I realized I was really scared of the no, and I was really scared of any no. So it was about building
Mm.
resilience. And like when you're doing that shot, like you got ignored twice. Well, you didn't die. Like, but I really was
Yeah,
in
all
a
right.
state of feeling like if someone said no to me, like it would just break me, which is not true. So I have just
Mm.
been building that muscle. So I'm going for 100 no's. And then the other thing was shooting the shot, which is probably more I'm calling as well. So you could just get 100 no's quite easily. I could ask 100 people for $50 and they could all say no. I don't know. That's quite a big ask, maybe. Or 100 people to come to my free networking drinks and they all say no. Well, that could be 100 no's quite easy. So the shoot your shot, I've got another way of calling it courage to ask. So I think it's the courage,
Yes.
building up the courage to ask, because you could get some really easy no's, but I feel like shoot your shot is the courage to ask for
Mm.
something a bit bigger or some a bit.
Yeah, and the goal isn't to get a no. So I see the idea of 100 no's, but as you say, you can get that easily and think, I got the 100 no's, I did the challenge. But it's actually more about just pitching the right opportunities.
Yes, and being more
Yeah.
targeted. But I feel like it's helped. Like today, I got two no's, and I did go yay because it was like because they wrote back though. So we're doing a
Mm.
bit of MC and speaking pitching, and I am the same. We're very fortunate, I think, Kate, and probably from the work that we used to do, copywriting, and I used to also do freelance writing, is that a lot of the work came through word of mouth and referral
Mm.
initially.
Mm.
So it's great, but it also can make you like a little lazy because you just know that someone's always
Yeah.
going to say your name and you'll get it. But you're also then not getting to choose. Whereas shoot your shot
Mm.
is you choose who you work with and you
Yes.
choose the
Yes.
opportunities. And so with emceeing and speaking, I tend to get offered things, but it's like, well, no, I want more of it. And so yeah, we
Mm.
sending out pictures, and I got two no's, but they were very nice. They were like, but the fact that they even wrote back, like it wasn't just silence.
Yeah,
It was
and you
like,
never know when it might be no, but next time it might be yes. Like we have to say no for now, but that maybe they'll keep you in mind. You just don't know. Like it's all these little 1% things that can make a huge difference in business. And God, business is about bravery, don't you? Like there's so much personal development to do in business. You have to be doing all these things that put you out of your comfort zone, make you uncomfortable. Like I'm not very good at my business finances, for example. I just tend to ignore it. You've got to face it. You've got to know your numbers. You've got to sort out your tax. Like you've got to do all these difficult, uncomfortable, hard things if you want success in business. I think it forces so much of that into you.
Well, and the card I have, I've got all my little affirmation cards on my desk, and the card that I pulled yesterday, which I've kept out for today, but it says, "Courage, the art of feeling the fear but doing it anyway." And
Hmm. That's business. Yeah. Every
business,
day.
yeah, the exact definition of business. But knowing that, I think the membership is great because instead of you just sitting there in your quiet little office going, I gotta send this email, it's like your notification pops into my inbox and it's like, oh, everybody else is shooting their shot and I'll shoot my
Yeah.
shot and everybody else did it. But then I come in and I'm like, I'm gonna send 20 DMs and you're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it
the
was
Emma way. I'm not going to do one. I'm going to do more, 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 more.
and I did it by Friday. So I think,
That's okay. Like you've got
that was
something to pitch at the moment.
yeah. And then it was something to well, it was within the like, yeah, it was I think there's not the beating yourself up, but it's still the accountability, which I really appreciate,
Mm,
and getting to yeah, like you said, see what other people are doing and knowing that, it's not you just shouting into the abyss, that there's other people also
mm.
there and present.
Yeah.
And one of the nice things is also that quite a few of us have connected and then, just seeing each other's things and sort of, good
Mm,
on you and yay and little comments here and there. But one of
yeah.
the one of the top tips you've given me this year, which was like just has blown my mind, and it seems ridiculous, was that you told me to proactively connect with people. And I think
Mm,
so there were two blocks for me on this, and I've applied it to Instagram as well. TikTok's a little bit stricter on the old following, but
mm,
I've applied it to Instagram. But I thought one, I'm going to get told off for following people, too many people. But two, I don't like when people reach out to me on LinkedIn and then, or they try to add me and then they cold message me straight away, or just getting this
mm.
cold, as she says, as she's trying to pitch people. But just very, I was like, oh, I don't like that. And what you told me was it was like, I didn't actually have to message them. I could just
No.
connect with them.
Hmm.
And I was like, and I was like, but what if they don't want to connect me? Or what if they don't take the thing? And you were like, just try to connect and they might see that you have. So can you
Yeah.
tell me what you told me then, but like I
Yes.
now
Okay.
do it.
So what I love about LinkedIn is the power to connect that I think is unique to the platform. Say, and I'm not very good at any other social media, but on, say, Instagram, you can follow them and hope they follow you back. Whereas LinkedIn, you send a connection request, and if they accept, you're connected, you're following each other. And LinkedIn also gives you the power to search for people through the amazing algorithm to find specific job titles or specific companies or all types of people because it's all written in their bio. Like if you're trying to connect with lawyers or event organizers, there's heaps of them on LinkedIn and it's all right there in their profiles. So the idea is first you make your profile appealing to that target audience. So your profile presents very strongly to them and tells them why you're a good connection for them. And then you send connection requests to them. And they have a quick look at your profile to make a decision. And that's for me, the banner on your LinkedIn profile says something like what you stand for and why you should, what content you share. So hopefully they go, yeah, that's cool, that's for me, and they accept. So it's very normal on LinkedIn to connect with strangers. It's very normal on LinkedIn to not send messages. Like I'd say messages are quite rare. And some of the messages are so cheesy now that I think the messages often do you a disservice. Like I get people saying, oh, your stuff really resonates. You're so inspiring. And I think, really? I find
It
it
is okay.
the way they write it, like if they write something, because I've got on my banner, I help you show up on LinkedIn without being an annoying dickhead. So if someone says, I don't want to be a dickhead, please connect with me, then I always laugh and I connect with them. But when they write something really like kissing my ass, I'm like, you haven't even looked at my profile. I don't know. I just find it a bit fake. So there's no need to send a connection request message. Your profile does the work for you in terms of persuading them. And then if they don't accept, that's fine. It's a bit of a thank you next situation because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people on LinkedIn. And once you start doing that, the algorithm is very clever and it will start to suggest people. So you won't even have to search. You just go into the My Network tab and there's pages and pages of people suggested by the algorithm. We think you should connect with these people. We think these are the kind of people you want to connect with. So I think you should go nuts. I think you should build your network full of your ideal audience. I was speaking at a conference and I said, ideally, you have 1,000 ideal audiences in your members. And I could see the people in the conference just going, oh my God, like being really horrified. But if you send 10 connection requests a day, it might take you a while to get to 1,000. But imagine if you had 1,000 ideal clients in your network, and then you can message them or you can write content for them, you can sell to them. And
Well,
that's how LinkedIn works. And that's how you can start to generate leads from your ideal clients that you chose, that you found.
yes, and I think the difference, like you said, was the follow back. Though it has applied for anyone for Instagram. There used to be this. The other block for me was that it used to be like, and LinkedIn doesn't act like this, but it was like have more followers than you're following, which is just a bit shit. It's just like trying to be popular, but
Oh,
yeah, it's like don't appear to be following more people. You should have more followers. So anyway, I'm just like that's stupid. But because I just got out of the habit, and so now I'm following people who are my ideal client or people I'd like to connect with,
hmm,
and they're following me back. And it's not guaranteed. That's the
yeah,
difference. Like you said, once you're connected, you both see each other's content. So they might still not
hmm,
see, they might choose not to follow me, but at least I'm showing interest and telling the algorithm who I'm interested in. And so it
yeah,
made me think about it differently after doing that. And I've been maxing out my connection because you know me,
yeah,
can't do a
good.
little thing.
How long? Some people have different limits. So what's your limit? Is it about 100 a month?
Oh, mine seems to refresh weekly, maybe. Like, I don't know. I
Yeah,
seem to be
it's always,
doing, I don't know. Well, because I honestly am just doing a little bit of spray and pray, which means just
yeah, yeah.
with ideal, like so I'm searching event managers, conferences, organizers, retreats, yoga, well-being. So my
Mm,
specialty is being retreats or speaking and emceeing. But then, I live on the Gold Coast. So I'm like, well, I'd like to be hired or work with people on the Gold Coast. So I went
mm,
like Gold Coast City Council, the Experience Gold Coast, Destination Gold Coast, Queensland Tourism. So people who work for those organizations. And then, like the other day, I got connected with the chief of staff for the mayor, like, because I
cool.
tried to connect to her and she connected. I've got Olympians, TV presenters, because I'm in media. So
Yeah.
then they're suggesting these media people. And because like, this was something else you told me, because we have some mutual connections, which is why they're being
Mm,
shown to me, I go, well, hey, Channel 9 presenter, why not be connected? And then they're
yeah.
accepting. So I'm like, well, I don't know. Like it's within the realm. And so I'm doing a bit of but what the other thing you said to me is then the thing with LinkedIn that's great is then there's more eyeballs in your world. Like and I just
Mm,
wasn't having enough eyeballs potentially in my world. And how nice to be connected with. Like it's like
yeah.
let me like extend the olive branch. And then I'm not
Yeah.
selling
And you don't have to,
anything.
yeah, you don't have to trust the algorithm to put you in front of the right people. You put yourself in front of them by sending them connection requests.
It's just been it's been such a game like that. I say one little tip, but it really has shifted a lot for me, Kate, in approaching proactivity, I guess, or
Mm,
being, and it was that kind of like waiting for offers to come, waiting to be
yeah.
seen. And I'm very visible. So like, because some people like, it's about
Yeah.
being visible. I'm very visible. I don't have a problem with that. But
No.
being clear about what I want to be visible for and who I
Mm,
want to be visible to, I think that was
mm,
probably, I
mm,
was a little bit touch scattered. So we have about 8 minutes left, but I just wanted to. There's another thing that I don't know if you want to talk about, but one of the other golden things that has been in your membership for a long time, but I'm finally actioning because that's on me, not on you, is you have this method, which is the
Yes.
4-1-1-1 method of content.
Yeah.
And so I was doing a lot of, for me, and I think a lot of people would have this issue too, you're just creating content that's probably more tailored to other platforms and you're just
Yeah.
popping it on LinkedIn. Whereas I'm
Yeah.
now leading with LinkedIn for LinkedIn, and that's using your method.
Yes. I think that makes a huge difference. And LinkedIn knows if you're just using a scheduling tool and you're just ticking LinkedIn and going, I'll just put this Instagram post on LinkedIn, LinkedIn knows. LinkedIn doesn't like having Instagram or TikTok content shared randomly on its platform. So I think you do need a LinkedIn strategy for LinkedIn. And the same, you can't just put your LinkedIn content on Instagram or whatever. Like it's just not the same. So I think that's important. But the 4-1-1-1 method is a bit messy. Maybe I need a new name, but it's basically four value posts. So four pieces of useful advice, and then three other posts. So one is a affinity post, which is a post that's about generating conversation, something personal, like an I failed story or a vulnerable story, or just asking for help, things like that. Um, and then a sales post. So a sales post is where you might share your testimonial and say, this event booked me and I did a great job as their MC. If anyone needs me as an MC, I've got 2 spots available next month. Um, I think a lot of people on LinkedIn don't share sales posts, and then they don't get leads, they don't get sales. So I think it's our job to tell people how they can buy from us. And we do that with sales posts. And then the last post is a similar kind of post, which I call a process post, which talks about how you work. So in your case, Emma, you might say, so when I get booked for a conference, these are the things I do. I look at the attendees, I research all the speakers, I make sure that I know the venue, or all the things that you do as an MC to make the organizer's life easier. And we want to be sharing our processes because we've probably spent a lot of time refining those processes and making them better. And you might talk about, I went to this event and I didn't do this, and I thought I'm never doing that again. And that's why I always do this thing every time. I always check in with AV people or whatever, all the things that you do as an experienced MC. And we want to share those things to show our audience the expertise and the processes that we follow. So they are the four kinds of posts that I recommend. And we always lead with value. We lead with expert, helpful advice. That's what LinkedIn wants from us. And then we do the other two sparingly. And it's based on a posting daily framework, but you don't have to post every day. You can post twice a week, once a week. It really depends on your goals and your strategy.
I think it's so helped me though, like to have that structure, but also to think, and it took me a little bit, and I still have to sometimes I go back and you have a lovely
Mm.
PDF which explains each of the ones because I was like, what is this value? Or, and I did ask you today, like,
Yeah.
where would a testimonial sit in, like, which type of post? And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm probably a little bit still story led, so there's value within the story, or this, this thing happened and
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
Um, so finding my way to do it, but just having that structure and like because I've only got seven, I mean it sounds like that sounded like a lot to people, but I'm just looking at the week ahead because I have that like it's leading somewhere. I find that I
Mm.
create it quicker as opposed to I do sometimes batch things of doing like, a bunch of one type of post, but because I don't really know where they're going to fit in the order or where they go. I'm just
Yeah.
praying and praying again. Having that like, and I'm kind of leading them on a journey, and I'm
Mm.
only looking at a
Mm.
week at a time. It's been really manageable once you start one. You're like, oh. And sometimes I start with the affinity. I'll be like, I want to say this thing about this thing, and then oh, well,
Yeah.
that kind of leads
Yeah.
into that, or oh, that's how I could tell that story. I just think it's been a great structure, and I want to go back to what you said about the membership with the trainings. I think everybody um, gets different things from different um, programs and different things that they're in. So
Mm.
someone that PDF could be the one thing that people join for, and it could be their game changer. Or the one thing could be the accountability, or the one thing could be the community, or but also for you, when you've built that content, and this is a reminder to me, when you have a course or you have a training, then when people do come in, and they're asking a question, you're like, oh, well, I have that for you. So they might not
Mm.
go through it like week by week or
Yeah.
all at once, but you have that and you go, well, oh, you're asking about how to update your profile. Here, watch video 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
I think
helpful
that
to be
is
able to just
useful
go,
for
there
people.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I like about school too, that I can just go, that it's all there. I can just link to the training and go, yep, I made a whole video on this. Go and watch it. But I keep all the videos pretty short, because, it's hard to sit and watch a training video.
Well, and I think with what you're t doing as well, it is very practical and it is like you have to do the thing. And so if someone,
Yeah,
it's
you
not a,
need to know what button to click to change your banner or do all those things. Yeah.
and you can almost do it with you. So, and I was very proud. I said, like, sometimes I sit back a bit, but like I had a sheet of action items from one of your audits. And I found that sheet and I realized I'd probably done like half of it. And now I've got a shorter
Yeah, good
list
on you.
and it's on my wall. And I was like, oh, and the connection thing was all new to me at the time. And I was like, huh, I now just do that every week. So
Yeah, yeah.
thank you.
And that's what I want to do. Like, it is about showing up. Like, and unfortunately, we have to keep showing up. We can't just show up once. Like, one person messaged me and said, I wish there was just a button I could press that could get me clients. And I was like, yeah, me too. Yeah. There's no one who doesn't want that button to press. But it's not how it works. So we just have to keep showing up. So it's about showing up in strategic ways and finding ways that you can do it repeatedly. So if you make it easier and funner,
Bit fun.
and
Yes, we can actually have some fun with it. And like,
yeah.
the games as well. That was another thing on like slightly
Oh yeah,
addictive.
LinkedIn games.
But I didn't even know there were games, and I'm very competitive, as you
Yeah.
might have heard from this
Yeah.
episode. So I'm enjoying the games very much, and I'm very
And
glad there's
school
only
has a like a in the school membership they have like the more contributions you make, you get little medals and things like that. So Emma's like, right, I want to be the top contributor. I
I'm currently
think
silver.
you're in second place at the moment, Emma,
Yeah, Genevieve's got like
but I'm
30
sure you
comments
will.
on me. I'm like, I'm coming after you, Genevieve.
Yeah, yeah.
Love your work, but I'm
I'm coming to get you.
I'm coming in there. But we've only got a couple of minutes left because my silly Zoom. But I thank you, Kate. I love what you do. You're very generous, and I'm very grateful for your support. How can we connect with you? How can we find shop, school, all the things?
Yeah, so if you Google me, Kate Merryweather, you'll find my website, you'll find my LinkedIn, and on there you can find links to my school platform.
At the very
Thanks, Emma.
least,
Thanks for having me.
fine. We'll put it in the show notes. But Kate Merryweather, it's like
Yep, merry like
Merryweather,
Christmas, weather
and
like cold.
that's a good way. I would have said like warm weather, merry
Well,
warm.
it's cold today, so I change it up.
Kate Merryweather on LinkedIn. At the very least, follow Kate because she is highly
Thank
entertaining,
you.
but gives amazing value and yeah, and good banter. Good banter. I enjoy
That's right.
it.
Thank you, Emma.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for listening, lovely one. I hope this has inspired you to dream big and start creating a life you love today. If you love what you're hearing, don't forget to follow and rate on Spotify and rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. It helps other awesome people to find this podcast and get motivated and inspired as well. Want to stay connected? Come and join the Live a Life You Love group on Facebook or connect with me on Instagram, emmalovell.au. The same as my website, but all the details are in the show notes, lovely. I'll see you next episode for more inspiration, motivation, and freedom seeking. Now go out there and live a life you love.